Buck with Ben. Hey, everybody, what's going on? This is me, Ben Cornett, and welcome to episode 3 of Let's Buck with Ben. This is a strictly Tampa Bay Buccaneers uh, football show. It's been a while. The last episode we did was sometime in May, I believe. So now, normally, I just want to say real quick that normally on Thursday nights, I'm on the NFL edition with Johnny Dean, Alex Loosemore, and other guests, but they're not available tonight. So that left me open to, what am I going to do? I was ready to go to talk some football, but I was like, you know what? I just, with the spare time, I asked myself, why don't I do a Let's Buck with Ben? We haven't done one of these in a while, so I thought, what the heck, let's do it. And that's what we're going to do here. So, um, we're not going to do a real long show tonight, but I wanted to catch up with everybody, all the Bucks fans out there. Right now we're at a point in the season where it's kind of that dry spell. Not a lot's happening. Um, Training camp doesn't open up for another couple weeks, and like I said, this is a seasonal show. I've mentioned that in the last couple episodes. It's a seasonal show, but once the NFL season starts to kick off, preseason, we'll be doing this show more frequently. But during the off season, we'll do like, the free agency, the draft, stuff like that. It won't be on as much, but we'll still do the show. It's just not as frequently as we would during the season. But tonight we're here. Just want to tell all the Bucks fans how you guys doing this off season. What do you think of so far the off season? What, or during this dry spell, what, do you guys follow the Bucks, every day on the news and everything, or do you have other stuff going on? Let me know in the comments. I'm a sports fan, not just a Bucks fan, but a sports fan as well. So I'm occupied with other stuff to, keep my sports stuff going. So it's not a big deal to me, but I know a lot of Bucks fans. It's simply Bucks, and they like just can't wait. They're counting the days to the preseason, the regular season, and beyond. So yeah, it's like I said, it's been quite an off season. Since we last left you, we've had some interesting stuff going on. I think I'll bring up today, or I saw this earlier. Carlton Davis, cornerback for the Bucks. He said, "We're gonna wreck the S word." He's saying that this team, you haven't seen the best of this team yet. You haven't seen this new Bucks team. You got to like the confidence. Carlton Davis is one of our key players on this team. He's been here since day one. He said, we understand that, Brady helped us win a championship, but he needed components to have that. And yeah, you do. You definitely need the components. It wasn't just Brady, although I will say that I'll go on record to say that without Brady, you wouldn't have won a Super Bowl. Without Brady, you probably might not even make the playoffs. back in 2019, after the Jameis era, and I won't go too long into this, but the team was still had that losing culture, and you got to give Brady his due. Yeah, he's not on the team anymore. He retired. That's great. Don't get me wrong, but you know, without Tom Brady, I don't think you change that culture. A guy like Philip Rivers isn't going to change the culture. A guy like a Teddy Bridgewater wouldn't have changed the culture. Tom Brady did. So, you know, whether you're sick and tired of Tom Brady or not, in my opinion, he changed the culture of this franchise. And to do it, not only to do that, but to win a Super Bowl the next year after not making the playoffs, it's impressive. He is the GOAT. And so, I understand how Carlton Davis feels, like, hey, Brady wasn't the only one, and that's true. But at the same time, it's going to be very interesting to see what we do without not just Tom Brady, the quarterback, but the leader, Tom Brady. You hope that, guys like a Carlton Davis, step into that leadership role, I will say that if, with Carlton Davis saying what he's saying, again, nothing wrong with confidence. I love somebody with confidence. I think it's great. It's a great trait to have. But you do got to back it up. You do have to back it up. You have to, not just say it, but show it on the field. And, and Carlton Davis is certainly capable of doing that. He's one of the better corners in the league. I know last year wasn't his best year, but, when he plays well, he plays well. He can stop receivers. The only issue with him is maybe the penalties. Sometimes he draws too many flags, but at the same time, you love his aggressiveness, and so yeah, I hope Carlton Davis backs it up. Him, and not just him, but the rest of the team. Because we need that. This is a whole new team now. This isn't the Brady days are done. This is a brand new team. It's going to be different. With the not only the quarterback play, but the offensive play calling. As you know, Dave Canales is the new offensive coordinator. He likes to run the ball quite a bit. Likes to implement that. He thinks run the ball to set up the pass. And last year we had Byron Leftwich, who, let's face it, was not the most creative offensive play caller. Okay. He just wasn't. And that's just my opinion. But this year we got somebody different, and sometimes different's good. I think will help, guys like Rashad White. We got Chase Edmonds now. Keyshawn Vaughn's still on the team. So it is different, but at the same time, different can be good. Sometimes we might be afraid of different. We're afraid of the unknown, but I'm going into this season with an open mind. Okay, let's prove that we can still be a good team without Tom Brady. And we got to remember, we were 8-9 last year. Think about that. We were 8-9 with Tom Brady. Now, I understand we had the injuries and everything, but Brady didn't play his best football. And I know I'm apologize for going on a Tom Brady, tangent here, but I just want to say that, like with Carlton Davis saying that this team can be, they can watch out for us, saying that the outside media is saying we're going to stink, and we're like, well, we're going to show you that. And that's good. I like that. I like that confidence. But I'm just going back to Brady for a minute. The team wasn't very good last year. Offensively, we couldn't get in the end zone. Okay. Like Mike Evans, how come your best receiver wasn't getting the ball enough? Yeah, we had the injuries. We had Marpet retire before, at the end of last year, of 2 seasons ago, I should say. Then you had Ryan Jensen with the knee injury in training camp, which was really devastating. He brings that nastiness to the offensive line. So, a lot of things just fell apart. But I feel like this season we're going to have, a different mindset. Maybe that's the best thing for this team. That okay, this is over. We got our Super Bowl a few years ago. We 2021 we had a great year, and we fell apart in the playoffs. We had the whole Antonio Brown fiasco. 2022, the injuries piled up. Brady was not himself. His focus didn't seem to be so much on football. Again, my opinion only. So now with the new offensive coordinator, no more Tom Brady, no more distractions. Yeah, he brought you a lot of primetime games. He brought the attention, but maybe that's good that we're not getting the attention. That'll keep the team more focused and more of a team. And Dave Canales brings a different offensive mindset, a different offensive imagination to this team that really needs it, that we can spread the ball out, run the ball efficiency, more frequently, have that balance. And I keep saying on other shows in years past, the Bucs have not had, that balance offensively, 50% run, 50% pass. Yes, we passed a lot last year. Brady, with a quarterback like him, you do pass the ball a lot more than other teams would. But now, you have Baker Mayfield here. You have Kyle Trask. You got those two quarterbacks competing. Now I told you in past episodes that even though, they're saying it's a competition, I still believe Baker's going to be the guy. I mean, he's, I don't know why else would you bring him in unless you feel like he's your guy. Or why did you bring Baker in, if you felt like Trask was the guy? You think if he was so good, why isn't he starting? Why isn't he, given more of a chance? Why did you bring Baker in? And, people will say, well, Baker got backup money. You got $4 million. But that's not the point here. The thing is, for me, is, they want to bring in a veteran, somebody that's, been to the playoffs with the Browns. They feel like this team still has a chance to not only win the division, but, do some damage in the postseason. So I feel like, just my opinion again, I think the Bucs felt like, Kyle Trask just isn't ready, or they just don't like what they see in it. So that's why they brought Baker Mayfield in, that experience, a guy that, can fit Dave Canales' offensive scheme, and he's going to be a different type of quarterback. He's going to be more of a, he can move out of the pocket, throw out of the pocket. So, Brady was a pocket passer, got the ball out quick, didn't like to get hit. Baker will make plays on his feet as well. Now, you don't want him to do too much of that, because you want him to throw the ball quick, get it out quick. You don't want too much pressure on him. That's where sometimes Baker can make his biggest mistakes. One of his great traits is being a good running quarterback, but it also can be a detriment, because he's made some poor decisions when he's, throwing, outside the pocket. So I feel like with the run game, if it can be efficient, each game, it's not going to only help the offensive line, but it's also going to help Baker Mayfield have time in the pocket, make, good decisions with the football. So, and they feel like, Kyle Trask just isn't ready for that, despite being a second round pick in 2021. And it's interesting, Sean King, former Bucs quarterback, had some comments a couple weeks ago saying that Kyle Trask sucks from what he's heard from the team, and this is his posted up here. It's a quote from Sean King. He says that Kyle Trask stinks. Listen, if Kyle Trask had done anything in practice during his 2 years backing up Tom Brady, Tampa doesn't go out and sign Baker Mayfield. He'd have to have been terrible in practice, because when you draft a quarterback second round, you want to be right. Jason Light wants that pick to pan out. So it is a very interesting take we should say, from Mr. Sean King. Um, you know, I do feel like if Kyle Trask was going to be that guy to replace Brady, possibly. I mean, you can't replace Tom Brady, but I'm just saying, like, he'd be the next quarterback. I would think, yeah, and I won't go and say he sucks. I don't, I'm not going to use that term because again, we've not seen enough of Kyle Trask to say, oh, he sucks. He's only played like a quarter of NFL regular season football, so you can't really say, oh, he sucks. I mean, but it does. I do think, along the lines of Sean King that, well, he's not practiced as much. Blaine Gabbert was the backup. You could say, well, he knows Arians' Leftwich offense, which is true. But I do feel like if that Trask should probably be the backup. You would think, especially last year, because this team wasn't as good. You would have liked to have maybe seen more of them, but obviously this is Tom Brady's team. The Bucs were in a division that wasn't very good, so it was still a division to win. I agree. We do need to see what Trask has, but at the same time, you wonder, and I kind of wonder myself, like, okay, he should have gotten, if he was, because do you think he's better than Gabbert? He would have gotten more reps, right? But I don't know. Again, I'm not going to go as far as saying he sucks because, again, we haven't seen much of him. But at the same time, I do feel like he probably should have maybe gotten some more reps, especially in practice. But, he didn't really play a lot in preseason either last year. So, and that's interesting too, we did see, you would have probably wanted to see more in preseason with Kyle Trask, but Gabbert surprisingly got some more playing time in the preseason than Trask did. So it is interesting to think about, like, is it like, well, is he not progressing as much as we like to think? I'm just thinking like, a Todd Bowles or a Jason Light. Time will tell, but again, I don't think, unless Baker gets injured, we don't want to, God forbid, we don't want any injuries, but I just don't see how Trask is going to be, playing against Minnesota on opening day. I just don't see it. You tell me, do you think Kyle Trask should get a chance, or do you think we should roll with Baker Mayfield? Let me know in the comments. For me personally, I mean, I'm not high on either quarterback, but you do want to go with experience right now, especially if you feel like this team is still a team that can win this division. I don't know. I think you go with the veteran, with Mayfield. You roll with them. Again, he's not my favorite quarterback. I'm not the biggest Baker fan, but he's here now. Let's see what he can do with this team, especially with the weapons he has. Let's remember, like, Baker, he had weapons in Cleveland with Landry and Odell Beckham, but to me, the best weapons he's got are right here. With Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. I mean, that's one of the best 1-2 combos in the NFL. Okay, so I feel like Baker's, he's in a good situation, and with the offensive line, it's going to be different. Tristan Wirfs, he's going to move over to left tackle. He's going to make Luke Godecki the right tackle. So, that'll be interesting there. Ryan Jensen's going to be back, hopefully 100% from that knee injury. You got free agent Mac Feeler. He came over from the Rams. He's going to be the left guard. And supposedly the right guard is going to be rookie Cody Mock, who looks like Ryan Jensen's twin. So, yeah. I mean, if he has got a good offensive line, good receivers. Cade Otton starting to come into his own as a tight end. man, this team on paper, I don't think it sucks. I think they could be a solid team, and we'll see what happens. But I think for now, you go with a veteran. Now, if Baker Mayfield struggles and this team, let's say, is 1-3 or 0-4 by the time we, get to the bye week, which is after week 4, I don't know. Then maybe you might want to see what, Kyle Trask has. I mean, you did draft him in the second round, so maybe you have to see what he has if Baker Mayfield does not play well. And I emphasize that word if he does not play well. Maybe you take a look at Kyle Trask. So with that being said, I'm going to take a swig of Coke Zero. Clear my throat there for a minute. A little dry. And we do have some comments here. I've got quite a bit of comments. I'm going to read those off. Here we go. Scott Thaler, thanks for tuning in. You're first. Awesome. And Facebook user is second. Let me see who that is. That is Marty McKnight. Marty, thanks for tuning in tonight, man. Appreciate it. Marty says, look, it's Dale Earnhardt. Thank you, Marty. Appreciate it. Actually, it's Trooper Rod from Super Troopers, but Dale Earnhardt's not bad either. Let's see. We got Scott Thaler. Man, great intro. I got so excited I won't need Viagra tonight. Oh, that's so sweet. I'm going to star that, Scott. I appreciate my intro giving you a rise up, if you will. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's see here. Facebook user, Marty. This is Marty. He says, I like the free agent we picked up in the place safety. He was highest graded safety in the league last season by Pro Football Talk. Yep. Yeah, I forget his name. I'll bring that up in a minute. Christopher Cole, evening officer. Thank you. Christopher, how you doing tonight? Appreciate you coming on, bro. Go Baker Mayfield. Okay. Yes, he was a Ram last year. That's right, for a few minutes. Raise the flag and fire the cannon. Thank you. Also, I am so excited I'm going to fire my cannon tonight. Oh, man. Scott, naughty boy. Trask can learn from Mayfield. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Misador just ordered a large farva. I don't want a large farva. I want a GDM liter cola. Hey, Misador, how you doing tonight, man? Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Misador is he's a big Bucks fan as well. He also has a show. God damn it. Forgive me for forgetting what that name of that show is. If you want to put it in the comments section, appreciate it. I want to plug your show there, Misador, because it is a good one. You have during, I don't know if you do it all season, but at least during football season, it's fun. Let's see. Sean Spencer, thanks for tuning in, man. Realistically, what are the other options? Lots of laugh. I'd go with Baker. He can win this division, but y'all have to run the ball. No, I agree, Sean. We do have to run the ball. One of the reasons why Baker Mayfield did so well in Cleveland, because he had a good run game. And, he's going to need that here. And, we got Rachaad White, second year. This is his team now. He's the feature running back. He's got to show that he can be one of the better backs in this league. Certainly our offensive line is going to have to play a big part in that, so we'll see what happens. And I think whenever Mayfield's had his best success, the run game's usually been good. The offensive line has been good. That's where he has his most success. So if the Bucks newly vamped offensive line, Wirfs moving to left tackle, Feeler coming from free agency from the Rams, Cody Mauch, Luke Goedeke, Ryan Jensen, if he's 100% healthy, all those components have to work for this team to be you know, to be good, for Baker to be good. You know, he's the quarterback, and Rashad White has to be good. Chase Edmonds, has to be pretty good as well. We brought him in from free agency to see what he can do. So yeah, it is the best option right now, only because Baker's, played over 50 games in the NFL as a starting quarterback. So he's been there, done that. Kyle Trask, he's only had a cup of coffee with in the regular season. So yeah. For Cole, Baker's the best quarterback in this division. That's hard to argue because you look at Atlanta. I mean, Desmond Ridder, only in second year. I'm not too high on him. Carolina just drafted Bryce Young. We don't know what he can do. And the New Orleans Saints, they got Derek Carr. And I would say right now, I would put Carr slightly ahead of Mayfield. But again, Derek Carr, I'm sorry, I said David Carr, I said his brother, having Texans flashbacks. But Derek Carr, he's been good and bad. I think good coaching is going to help him, but we'll see. It's up to Derek Carr. I feel like without Alvin Kamara for a while, Michael Thomas, we don't know if he's going to be back. He's always been injured. Offensive line's kind of rebuilding. I think their best offensive weapon is Chris Olave. So we don't know. Derek Carr, he has to have help as well. Every quarterback does. But Derek Carr has had flashes in Vegas with the Raiders. He had a great receiver in Devontae Adams. So I feel like right now he's kind of got the edge over Mayfield. But again, he's doesn't have that much of an edge. Because again, this division's not great at quarterback, in my opinion. So that's why I said, for the outside media to say the Bucs aren't going to be as good, I don't know that. I don't necessarily agree because this division isn't that great. It wasn't great last year. I don't know if it's going to be great this year. So, who knows? I mean, I would say definitely the best two quarterbacks are in the division. Just by not being a great division, it's Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield. So we'll see. Scott says the Bucs knew how good the Rams could be, so they're cannibalizing the Rams. Oh, Scott, you're so funny. Nathan Snell, good evening. Hey man, how you doing tonight, sir? Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. I know this isn't the NFL edition. This is Let's Buck with Ben. Surprised you with the third episode here, but I was like ready to talk football tonight, and we called an audible, so here's your audible right here, and thank you for tuning in. Sean Spencer says, I don't know, I would have to give it to Derek Carr. Yeah, I would, just by a little bit, only because he's played more games. Excuse me. He's played more games than Baker Mayfield. He's had a longer career, and he's had some success at times. He's also struggled, and he's really been inconsistent. I would say Baker Mayfield has too. They've both been inconsistent in their careers. So, and comparing them, to Desmond Ridder and Bryce Young. I mean, it's Bryce Young's a rookie, so we don't know. Desmond Ridder, we saw some last year, but it wasn't all that great. So, again, that was his rookie year. We'll see how he does in year two. But right now, you got to go with Derek Carr and then Baker, solid number two. So, yeah. I agree with you, Sean. Nathan says, "What's the topic for this evening?" Well, this is Let's Buck with Ben. This is a Tampa Bay Buccaneers show, and the topics tonight were basically just catching up on the off season, what's been going on with the quarterback competition. You know, even though I feel like this really isn't a competition, but it is. It's what they'll tell you. Carlton Davis, our cornerback, had some comments saying that they're going to surprise the NFL, that we're not going to be as bad as people think. And I just basically said, that's good. I like the confidence, but if you're going to say stuff like that, back it up. You got to back it up. Because a lot of times I've seen players say things similar like that, and they don't always show up. So, to me, you're sort of adding a little pressure on yourself. So, some players thrive on that. Let's see what happens. This is going to be a big year for the defense as well. We'll have Shaq Barrett coming back. We got to see how Shaq Barrett does. Both, emotionally, because unfortunately he had a really bad tragedy with his family. He lost his youngest daughter in a drowning accident. I'm not a dad, but I can only imagine what he's going through. I mean, for anybody that's lost a child, it's like, I just can't imagine. It's got to be the worst thing in the world. And how will he, forget the knee injury, the torn ACL, the Achilles. Mentally, is he going to be there? This might be good that he's going to be on the field, to get away for a little bit, do what he loves to do. And, so we'll see how he does emotionally. It's, but if we can get the Shaq from 2019 and 2020, I mean, this defense can be really, really good. It's already pretty good. I mean, you got Vita Vea, Carlton Davis, Shaq Barrett, Levante, and then you got to wonder about Devin White. Where's his, his head's going to be. He's upset that he, didn't get the $100 million contract extension that he wanted. So it's all going to depend up here where these guys' heads are at. Physically, I think we'll be fine, but mentally, we'll see how good they do. Obviously, for Shaq Barrett and Devin White for different reasons, but we'll see what the mindset is. And Carlton Davis said it, that we're going to surprise teams, and that's a good mindset to have. All I ask is they back that up, because if you struggle, then those words can come back to bite you in the what. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Scott Taylor, the Bucks. That's right. Nathan says, well, if they had a decent coach and team, that would make a difference. Yeah, I mean, look, if I'm being honest, Todd Bowles, as a head coach, yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but as a defensive coordinator, he's great. I'm hoping now he is the head coach. He's got to be responsible for all the other coaches on the team. But, at the same time, I hope he can have this defense focused, ready to go. He didn't do a great job with the Jets. Now the Jets are the Jets, but, after his rookie year when they went 10-6, he had two other 5-11 seasons. So, I like Todd. He's a nice guy, but I'm not the biggest fan of him as the head coach. I think he's an incredible defensive coordinator. Yeah, I wish we still had Bruce Arians coaching, but someone, Tom Brady, uh, you know, there's a reason why he got moved out of there. Arians was in the front office now. He's been there since last year. So, um, we'll see, Nathan. I mean, this is going to be a big year for Todd Bowles. His second year. Now this is the second year of a 4-year contract with a 5th-year option. If he struggles this year, I think if this team, let's say, are 2-15 or 3-14, yeah, I could see a change. I really could. I could see a coaching change. But if this team is like in the division race, or like, let's say they go 8-9 or 9-8, and they make the playoffs or don't. If he can stay over 500 or around 500, he'll probably be back for a 3rd year. But if this team really struggles, then yeah, we could see a coaching change. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I hear a lot of people say, well, let's tank for Caleb Williams or Drake May or whatever, but I'm not a fan of tanking. I feel like that's just more detrimental to your team. Yeah, I understand you want to get a franchise quarterback, but the Bucs history shows that we've never really developed a franchise quarterback. But we're gonna have to do that eventually. We're just gonna have to. I don't know. Is this team right now? We have Baker Mayfield. We have Kyle Trask. May the best man win. May the best man win. And if Baker does well, then the Bucs are going to do well. If Mayfield doesn't do well, then the Bucs aren't going to do well. Then you can see what Kyle Trask has. And you might as well, because you did draft him in the 2nd round. You have to see something, because you got to determine, hey, is he the guy? Can we say, okay, let's give him a chance next year? Because I believe that's when his contract's up, after next year. This whole tanking idea, I'm not a fan of it. I don't want to see the Bucs do that. They did that once before with Jameis, and they got Jameis, and then yeah, he was good and bad here, but we didn't make the playoffs under it. So, I just feel like, let's see how this plays out. We'll see how good this team can really be in a division that's not a great division. It's really anybody's division. Hell, I'll even say it's Atlanta's division if they play well, if they stay healthy. They got better defensively. So, yeah, the Bucs, their mindset is they can still win this division and do more in the postseason. So we'll see what happens there, man. I'm kind of excited because, I know people will say, well, they get nervous, about, oh, this team's not going to be as good. It's not. You're still going to watch, okay? No matter what. If you think this team sucks, why are you going to watch them? But you still will, okay? I'm taking the approach of, this is going to be a unique year, and it's going to be something that, in a way, is going to be exciting, because sometimes the unknown is exciting. We got to trust the coaching staff. We got to trust the front office. That's all we can do as fans. We can always speculate and, predict and this and that, but at the end of the day, they still got to play the game on the field. You got 17 games. And I feel like with this division, it's definitely in reach. So I'm going to take an approach of let's see what happens. Do I think the Bucks are a Super Bowl contender? Honestly, no. But you never know. In the NFC, it's other than Philly and San Francisco. I mean, maybe Detroit, maybe the Giants, but it's really not that many teams. Look at the AFC. I mean, you got the Chiefs, defending Super Bowl champions. You got the Jaguars. You got the Jets with Aaron Rodgers now. You got the Bills, the Dolphins, the Bengals. I mean, would you rather be in that conference? You got the Chargers. Oh, yeah. Sean Payton's now with the former Saints coach is now coaching the Denver Broncos. But maybe he'll rejuvenate Russell Wilson. So, I mean, that conference is stacked. Whereas in the NFC, other than Philly and San Fran, I mean, who could you say is a great team? I don't know. And no, Scott, it's not the Rams, okay? I'm just kidding. Look, if Stafford can come back from his injuries, who knows? Maybe it would be the Rams. I don't know. The NFC is so wide open. The NFC South is wide open. So I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to say, oh, the season's lost. Oh, we should tank. No. I'm not going to do that. I feel like let's see what this team can do. Now I know, and I'm realistic too. There are some issues. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Baker Mayfield fan. Baker's, Mayfield is, to me, he's not a great quarterback, but I feel like if you could put him on a team with a good offensive line and really good weapons, he can, like most quarterbacks that have that, can thrive. But he's not going to make a team better, but the components on that team can make him better. So, and we have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and that's another thing with Mike Evans, can go for another 1,000-yard season and be his 10th one in a row. He would tie Randy Moss. So that's another good reason why, to use Mike Evans, because he can be that difference maker. And I felt like last year at times Brady didn't go to him enough, and you could see the frustration of Mike Evans. Mike is top 5, 6 in the league. Throw the ball to him. He can make plays. I will admit sometimes he frustrates me with some drop passes. He should be better, at holding on to the football, making catches. He does drop some passes from time to time. He's got to clean that up, but he's still your best receiver, and Godwin's your number 2, So there's no excuse for Baker not to at least play decent. He, like I said, put a good team around him. He should succeed. So Baker's last chance, he will be scrambling to win. Well, Scott, I would like to see him move around out of the pocket, but I don't want him scrambling all the time, because that means he's running for his life, and a lot of his mistakes, his interceptions, the turnovers, the fumbles happen when he scrambles and he panics. I'm hoping the offensive line this year, this newly revamped offensive line, actually helps him. It actually helps him out. He doesn't have to worry so much, especially moving Tristan Wirfs to the left tackle to protect his blind side. That's going to be key. Wirfs, I'll be honest with you, a little hesitant in the move, not because Tristan Wirfs can't play the left tackle position, because he did it before. He did it at Iowa. But in the NFL, he's never played that position. So you're asking a guy that's been a dominant right tackle moving over to a new position, which he's played before, but not at the NFL level. And it's a little different. So you know, a little hesitancy on my part with that, but again, I have to trust that he can play well at left tackle. Trust him to protect Baker's blind side. That's going to be the key. And if he can do that, which I think he has a chance to, again, he's made a Pro Bowl. He's always been really good. You know, he's dominated pretty much every defensive player that's come in front of him. Sure, there's been a couple that's gotten past him, but that happens to everybody. I just think if he can do that, protect Baker's blind side, hey, it's only going to help Baker. But at the same time, Baker has to protect the football. He's got to do his part to keep it clean and not turn the ball over. And, that was another thing last year. We had a lot of turnovers offensively. The interceptions, the fumbles. There were just games where that's how we lost. Our offensive line just could not give Brady the time. But also Brady didn't want to get hit. So he would throw the ball at people's feet. So both the offensive line and the quarterback have to be in sync. Especially this year, with Baker and a new revamped offensive line. Hopefully they get the time to gel. And that's another reason why I think Baker's going to win the job is because, they do have a new offensive line. And to put Trask in that spot, you could be asking for trouble there. So that's something you got to think about. A guy that's only played at 1/4 of regular season NFL football, playing with the new offensive line, it the thought is kind of scary if you think about it. But with Baker Mayfield, who's played in the NFL, he's played in big games, he's been to the playoffs, he's had the experience, so he can adjust better right now because of that experience more than Trask could. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's see, Mahomes is Superman. KC wins Super Bowl. Okay, so the next one, Super Bowl. Yeah, that one. It's Roman numerals, by the way. Whatever the next Super Bowl number is. By the way, the next Super Bowl this year is here in Vegas, right here at Allegiant Stadium. So maybe the Bucs will make it. Who knows? Like, we can only hope. We can only wish, right? Yeah, so... Oh, there's Scott. Scott Taylor says 58. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. Wow. We're almost 50 minutes into the show, man. I feel like the show has just started. Take another swig at my Coke Zero. That's good. That's good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, man. Yeah, so there's not really much more to say except the fact that, again, we're kind of in a dry spell right now with NFL coverage. Just found out that I have DirecTV stream. So the NFL Network's coming to the NFL or the DirecTV stream, which is cool, because the only reason I have DirecTV streams because I'm a Dodgers fan, a Golden Knights fan, Lakers fan. So I gotta have my regional sports. Otherwise, I wouldn't have it. But I am glad they're gonna have the NFL Network. So since they're gonna have games on there, YouTube now has the Sunday Ticket. I'll get that obviously because, the Bucs only have 2 primetime games this year. That's a Monday night game in Week 3 against the Eagles at home. I think in Week 7 or 8, I think it's a Thursday night game against Buffalo on Amazon Prime. So, yeah, I gotta admit I was spoiled. I got used to, because we had Tom Brady. We would get a lot of games. We'd get probably 6-7 games a year. on TV out here in Vegas. Now, this is a Raiders town, so it'll always be Raiders that get the games every week. Um, so because they're an NFL market, Las Vegas Raiders, so their games will always be shown. But for you guys in Tampa, you get all the Bucks games. So that's cool. I'm jealous, by the way. So, yeah, be interesting to see what happens there. I'll get the Sunday ticket. We'll see how it does with YouTube. Yeah, we're getting into streaming now, and how do I feel about that? I mean, that's the direction they're going. So, yeah, not just NFL, but it's been that way for years now, and it's just going to keep going. It does suck for people who live on the outskirts. If you live in rural areas outside the city and you depend on that satellite dish, the internet, the bandwidth's not as strong. I do feel bad that people who've had Sunday Ticket for years with the DirecTV satellite now has to. I don't know what they're going to do, because if your internet's not as strong, that's the thing with Sunday Ticket being on YouTube now. It's internet based now. Bars and restaurants and establishments that carry the Sunday Ticket, they will get it, because DirecTV has a deal with the bars and other establishments to watch TVs and watch NFL games. So, but for people on the outskirts, I do feel bad that they, they want to see their team play. Say you're a Bucks fan in Iowa, you live on the outskirts on a farm. That's tough. That's tough. So, yeah. Scott says, who do you think that will play KC in the Super Bowl? I don't know, Scott. I won't give out my Super Bowl predictions till I get a feel of the preseason and right before regular season. So I'll let you know then. And Scott Thaler says, I might come out to Vegas to watch the Super Bowl on TV with you. Make sure you have Rams gear in your guest room. That will never happen. And I will not creepy man in my bedroom. So, no, Scott, sorry, that will not happen. Okay. I'm not that type. I'm just kidding. And Sean Spencer says, who is this guy in Iowa that loves the Bucks? Well, I'm just saying, if there are Bucks fans in Iowa, there might be. Sean, there might be Commanders fans in Iowa. I doubt it, but there might be. So I was just talking about the Sunday Ticket, how it's not on DirecTV anymore. It's on YouTube, which is internet based. Because some parts of the country don't have as good a high speed internet to watch like a Sunday Ticket or a Netflix or Amazon Prime. That was one of the big deals last year when, excuse me, the NFL, Amazon Prime debuted Thursday Night Football. Some people had a hard time with it because you can only watch Amazon Prime on internet. So it was kind of a big deal. And now, DirecTV does still have the ticket, but it's only for bars and other hospitality establishments. So the NFL brokered a deal with that. But otherwise, for the common fan, got to get YouTube. That's the only way you can get it. Scott Taylor, Sean, Ben called me a creepy old man. Well, yeah, if you want to look what you just said. You want to watch TV Make sure you have Rams gear in your guest room. Come on, man. It's not creepy to you? Sean Spencer, there are Steelers and Cowboys fans everywhere, and it baffles me. Yeah, I know, Sean, I know. It baffles me too. It baffles me. Why do the Cowboys get 5, 6 primetime games a year? Well, they're okay. They're mediocre. They've always been mediocre for the last 25, 30 years. I mean, I was in high school the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. That should tell you how old I am. And no, I'm not a creepy old man. I may have a creepy mustache, but I'm not a creepy old man. Scott, I'm sure you're going to put that in the comments in a minute. Scott Taylor says it was a great show until you called me a creepy old man. Oh, well, like I said, your comment kind of creeped me out there. But I apologize, Scott. We'll just say you're not a creepy old man. Feel better? Okay. Good. Well, I feel better. I feel good that I was able to do this show with you tonight. Again, normally on Thursday nights, it's reserved for the NFL edition with Johnny Dean, Alex Loosemore. Shout out to them. They had other engagements tonight, so they couldn't do the show. But, that left me thinking, oh, what am I going to do? Well, hey, got some free time, so let's buck with Ben. Come on, buck with me, guys. All you Bucs fans out there, even some that are not Bucs fans, like Mr. Thaler, who is a Rams fan, or Sean Spencer, who's a Commanders fan. So, yeah. It was a joke, Ben. Okay. Alrighty. Thank you for joking. Alex got engaged? No. Engagements mean not just, putting a ring on a finger. No, they had other plans, other stuff to do tonight. So that's what I meant by engagements, okay? All right. Well, I'm glad I planned out tonight for doing this episode. I know I've been slacking, laughing my ass off, with the Let's Buck with Ben. Like I said, it is a bit of a dry spell during this time of year in July. But as soon as we get to, as I mentioned before, as soon as we get to preseason, we'll have more of these Let's Buck with Ben episodes. And as to the regular season, we'll do them weekly. So throughout the football season, throughout the postseason, all the way up to the Super Bowl in February. So you're going to get a lot of these episodes coming up. With that being said, I am going to take off here. It has already been about an hour now, so this was fun. This is a lot of fun. I said I wasn't going to do too long of a show, but it's going to be about a 1 hour show in about a minute. So, but before I do go, I do want to say that if you can, like and share this show and subscribe as well to, if you're on Twitter, on my Twitter handle is at BennyBoy702. If you're watching on YouTube, like Sean and Christopher Cole are, there's my YouTube channel at BenCornett9015, and on Facebook in the Ben Zone. If you're in the Ben Zone group, you can watch it there as well. I will share this show to my own personal page as well. So, yeah, just like and share because I want to grow this thing, especially being a Bucs fan. I know there's a lot of Bucs shows there, but I want to do one myself. So, I want to get this thing rocking and rolling. So, yeah, is that still a term? Do all the cool kids use that one? Rocking and rolling? I don't know. Okay, whatever. Scott, I did a private pop-up show for my wife. Oh, okay, good. Good for you, Scott. Sean says, great job, Ben. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that, man. Really do appreciate that a lot. That gives me more confidence, makes, like I said, stuff like that, good comments that'll help grow. get me going, get me motivated to do these shows. Appreciate it. Sean Spencer, damn, you're ending the show just as the good I ordered for here. Okay, and whatever that means, damn, you're in the show just as the good I ordered for here. Okay. And Christopher Cole, again, thank you for tuning in tonight, bud. Appreciate it. He says, our defense has 7 starters from our Super Bowl team. Yeah, that's right, Chris. We do. And that's why I said this team can still be a very good defensive team. You know, Jamel Dean, Carlton Davis, Shaq Barrett, Levante David, Devin White, Vita Vea. I think I left somebody else out. But, yeah, we still got the core. Antoine Winfield Jr. That's 7. So we got the core, Chris. This still can be a very good defensive team. I just hope the mindset of a Devin White and a Shaq Barrett, but for different reasons, obviously. You know, if they can get their mind right and play well, I mean, this team could do some damage. They can cause turnovers. They can put the offense in great position every single week. So, yeah, this is going to be a very interesting year. But I'm taking the approach of let's see what happens. I'm not going to think about this team possibly being bad. I don't. On paper, I don't think they should be, but we'll see. It's all up to this team, and I'm excited, Christopher. I'm excited you came on tonight. Thank you for commenting. I'm excited about the season. Just a few weeks away. We're going to do more of these episodes, so I'm ready. I am ready to go, man. And I hate to say it, but I'm ready to step out and call it a night. But I want to thank each and every one of you for commenting on the show tonight. Like I said, please like and share this and subscribe to my social media handles right there. And with that being said, I bid you a farewell and a good night. And we will see you next time here on Let's Buck with Ben. Take care, everybody.